What a great way to end. It's been a record-setting Worlds in a couple different ways. The draw show just about to begin, so as we head inside, I will hit you with a couple of the rules. Obviously, the teams will be randomly picked, first from Pool 1, and placed into the quarterfinals bracket. Nothing too crazy is going to happen there. The real fun is when we start pulling in those Pool 2 seeds, in which no Pool 2 seed can be placed on the same side of the bracket as the team that they were in the same group with. So don't worry, we'll walk you through it as it happens. We're heading inside now to take a look at how it all breaks down in the knockout stages. And as they start pulling the teams, I want to get you guys' general sense on the 8 teams that have qualified through to the knockouts. Frosk said perhaps one of the closest and most contentious 8 we've ever had. I think there's no clear favorite, and it does feel like everyone might be a contender.
Yeah, for me, I'm really excited to watch Damwon and Top especially, but I do feel like there's just so many really good teams at this World event, and I think this is going to be quarterfinals is going to be when it starts getting really exciting, just because of how many top-heavy teams this tournament feels like. It's just all really strong teams, and then a handful of not so strong teams.
Yeah, and another thing that comes to mind are like sleeper teams in a sense, like G2, Fnatic, or even I would throw in JD. Teams that are on, Pool 2, but for sure can ramp it up. Like you've seen world champion IG in 2018 is a good example of that. Even to a certain degree, an underperformer in group stage in FunPlus Phoenix that ended up winning the same champion. I'd love to just point out that both Tien and Ning are the ones actually drawing in both finals MVP, so that's nice to see.
That's a great call out. Kobe?
We didn't have any crazy upsets. All the favorites got through. There was no, big moment where we had a downfall of one of these top teams coming from one of the top regions. Pretty much, the only big downfall was North America not getting a team on through. So it should be, like they were kind of alluding to, some really tough competition here. Top and Suning on the first top.
I was going to say already that is a possible semi-final matchup then. Top Esports and Suning on the same side of the bracket as we look for the final 2 Pool 1 seeds to be drawn. But Raz, what's your take on that potential semi-final?
That always happens. Last year it was literally FPX and IG. The semifinals ends up being the LPL teams going up against each other. So that's always something to point out if that does end up happening. I want to see who they end up going up against.
Well, Gen G will be the first team on the lower side of the bracket to be pulled, which means, of course, that we only have 1 left to go.
Also, I mean, LPL got 3 teams through, so what are you complaining about? Have a fight.
All right, okay. I take what we get. That's fine. I'm happy with that.
Pretty good. If everything goes correctly here, this next draw should be Damwon Gaming to fill out the Pool 1 seeds. And then I start to get really curious about the 1-2 matchups. Again, I'll remind everyone that the Pool 2 seeds are G2, JD, Fnatic, and DRX. So are there any 1-2 matchups that you guys are particularly hoping for?
I think one thing would be LEC's history versus the LPL. I know specifically Perkz gave that interview where he said they don't care who they match up against, but given their history, I think they might prefer one of the LCK teams rather than the LPL ones, because this current roster of G2 has only won a single game versus an LPL team, and that was the 1 game versus Suning this year that they took in the group stage.
Well, G2 is the first team to be pulled, but here's the deal. Because Suning is in the upper bracket, G2 must go to the lower bracket. You cannot be placed on the same side as your own group opponent. So they will dodge both Top and Suning, and instead get placed into the first matchup in the lower bracket. Yes, Raz, tell us.
Is that Damwon? Am I correct in being able to believe
No, Damwon should have been the 4th team to be pulled.
Yeah.
Oh,
This would be a Gen G matchup. So Golden Glue, what's your take there? A G2 versus Gen G matchup.
That's exciting. I wasn't, I think G2 definitely lucked out that they couldn't go versus Top. I think that's like really good versus. I think this is still gonna be a really close one. That's an extremely exciting game where there's obviously Gen G is coming in as the first seed into the favorites, but I could definitely see G2 taking them out as well.
Ooh, Fnatic the next to be pulled. So both EU squads coming out hot. Of course, Gen G is on the lower side of the bracket. So Fnatic will get slotted in right there at the top, gentlemen. Top Esports.
Oh my goodness.
Woo, baby.
Send the salute out. I want to point out the first thing. I actually think G2 going up against Gen G, like, that's great for them. I would actually say that Gen G is the worst of the pool 1 seeds, because you have Top Esports, Suning, Damwon. It would be a bit of a tie for me between Suning and Gen G, but I think it's a really good matchup for G2. For Fnatic, good luck, man. That one's as hard as it can get. Maybe that one's a tough one.
I will say that for G2, I feel like the bottom lane is going to be pretty difficult versus Gen G. So it's not like they're going to have a free pass here.
Yeah.
JD Gaming just pulled, and of course Damwon being on the lower side does mean that JD will match up here against Suning.
That's the quarterfinals. That's what you don't want to see right there. You don't want to see that. Gives me vibes of 2014 OMG going up against EDG. Just team kill after team kill. That's the LPL history, my friends.
That's pretty crazy. All 3 LPL teams in the top half.
Insane!
If I recall correctly, this was the matchup that Lyric was talking about wanting to see. And so, while it will be an LPL team kill, as you mentioned there, Kobe, it is maybe something that some of those more hardcore LPL fans would be looking for. DRX, the final team to be pulled here.
Hey, that's another team kill right there.
That's well, you're gonna get a lot of those when there's only 3 regions in the quarterfinals, right? You've got two LEC and then 3 from each of the others, and so there you have. These are some sweet matchups, but again, I think this only reinforces the point that this is one of the most competitive top 8, selection of Worlds teams that we have had.
I think that last one might be the easiest to predict. With how Damwon ran through the LCK, Damwon versus DRX, that has got to be the overwhelming favorite there for Damwon on that bottom side. So I think that's the scariest draw for DRX, actually. We'll see, what they can show as far as evolution and what they've learned.
Yeah, you know what?